Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Just Say Guay. I'm your host, George Guay. Happy New Year, everyone. Today I'm joined by Holden Trent, who was just drafted by the Philadelphia Union in the MLS Draft. Holden, thanks for on the show.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so how's this been? I know the past few months, you're playing at High Point University. Your time there comes to a close. You're drafted. I mean, what's it all been like?
It's been pretty crazy. Everything happened pretty quick. You don't pay attention to all that stuff during the season really. Just trying to grind out performances. And then once we finished, everything kind of picked up and went to the combine. And then after that, just waited to see what happened in the draft. So glad I ended up falling to Philly.
Definitely a good few exciting months. So where do you stand with Philadelphia right now? I mean, have you done anything with them after the draft?
No, so actually I'll go up tomorrow. My first day. We do medicals on the 6th of January. And then just go to preseason. I think we have preseason, a few days in Philly, and then we go down to Florida for a few weeks to finish out preseason. And then, yeah, not really too sure about everything right now. Just go to preseason and then, see what happens.
That's definitely exciting. I can't beat going to Florida either. And I got to ask because my mom's from Philadelphia. Have you been to Philly before?
I have not, but I'm looking forward to going for sure.
What have you heard about it so far?
I've heard good things. Obviously the Union are a really good club. So I'm excited to get up there and start working with them. But yeah, no, I've heard great things about Philly. Obviously, Philly sports are huge, doing well at the moment. So it's exciting.
Yeah, definitely a city you want to be in. So let's backtrack. You're from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Just touch upon what the soccer culture was like growing up there. We see that the United States is growing so much in soccer now. I was just wondering, what was the experience like for you?
Yeah, soccer in North Carolina is definitely growing. There's some really good clubs. I played for NC Fusion Academy growing up. And it was a really good club. Developed a lot. Soccer is really growing in North Carolina. Obviously, just got the MLS team in Charlotte. So yeah, it's definitely growing for sure.
Yeah, and eventually you made the decision to go to High Point University. Could you take me through, what your recruiting process was like and what made you choose High Point?
Yeah, so I originally I committed to West Virginia my junior year of high school. So I graduated high school early. I went to West Virginia in the spring of 2018. And then that following summer, I decided to transfer to High Point. I knew the goalkeeper coach at High Point, had a really good relationship with him. So yeah, I knew a lot about High Point. And then when I was going through the transfer process, High Point was the one that stood out. I wanted to go back to North Carolina, and High Point just seemed like the best situation for me.
Yeah, for sure. And it was definitely the right decision of what happened after making that decision. Could you just take me through what the school culture is like there? You are the first athlete from High Point to come on the show, so I want to congratulate you for that. Just take me through, what the school is like and what's it like being a student athlete there.
Yeah, no, the school is incredible. Campus is probably the nicest campus I've been to. You have a lot of backing, being an athlete there, have a lot of resources. Obviously, it's a smaller school, but yeah, man, it's growing. I think that in the coming years, High Point athletics will continue to improve. You have a lot of backing from the support staff and student body. They really get into it. So yeah, I mean, it's a good time to be a student athlete at High Point.
Yeah, definitely. You accomplished a lot. So I'm going to read off what you accomplished individually and as a team. You were Big South All Conference first team 3 times. You made the All Tournament team for your conference. You're the Big South Goalkeeper of the Year twice. Very impressive. But you also helped High Point get their first tournament win over North Carolina, which is such a big powerhouse type school. Beat Maryland at one point, and that was the 5th ranked. win in school history. Just what's it like knowing that, you accomplished what you wanted to individually, but you left such a big mark on the teams that you played on as well?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Going into this year, I wanted to be on, a part of the first team that won a game in the NCAA tournament. So we hadn't done that before. So that was a really special moment for me. Um, but yeah, the program is growing. They have some really good, talented players. But it was awesome to go and beat a Maryland, go to Georgetown, get a result. They were top 3 in the country at the time. So I mean, it just shows you that High Point, so mid-major, but soccer is a little bit different. Where you can have some programs that are not normally considered powerhouses. Soccer is different with internationals and everything, just the landscape of that. Anybody can beat anybody. So yeah, no, the program is continuing to grow. And I'm excited to watch and see where they end up in the coming years.
Yeah, definitely great that you left your mark on the program. Speaking of, winning in college soccer, like you said, anyone can beat anybody at any given time. Can you take me through how tight it is to play in the NCAA tournament? Because I've watched, tournament games live, and even if, you don't possess the whole time or, score goals, if you can get it to penalty kicks, you have a great chance of, upsetting a team or just keep advancing. Can you show how crazy it is to, play in a tournament like that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting. All those games are super intense, and anytime you're playing a knockout game, there's a lot of pressure on it. But I mean, soccer, that's just kind of how it goes. You can be against the run of play and weather a lot of pressure and still come out and get a result. And I think that's what is special about the game. You know, at Carolina, when we played them in the first round, in the first half, they had probably the majority of the ball, majority of the chances, and then got to half, it was 0-0, and then we scored pretty early, and then after that, scored another one and kind of iced the game. So it's kind of against the run of play, but that's just how the game goes sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. As a former soccer player, I can definitely attest to that. And it definitely helps to have a good goalkeeper in that as well. So, the season wraps up. Can you just take me through, you shift your focus towards what's happening with you and going towards the MLS? How does being invited to the combine work? And, what is it like? Because I think we see in the NFL, that combine is so publicly showcased and everyone knows what happens. It's, everything that happens goes on YouTube and social media. What is the MLS combine like?
Yeah, no, it was a good experience. I think it was 44 players got invited. So if you get invited to the combine, you're in a good spot to get picked up in the draft. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's I guess it's pretty similar to like the NFL combine, the NBA combine. You go, you do physical testing. We ran a 40-yard dash, 5, 10, 5 sprint. You did our vertical and all that. But it was a lot. It was 3 days of just you know training, played 2 games, and then you had a bunch of meetings with teams. But I mean, it was a really good experience for sure.
Yeah, so obviously you got to showcase what you can do from a skill set, but you have to have draft meetings. And was Philly one of those teams that after you kind of walked away from the meetings thinking that it went well, and it wouldn't surprise you if you did get picked?
Well, I actually didn't even meet with Philly. I didn't have a meeting with them. Um, I knew there was a little bit of interest just from speaking to my agent. But yeah, no, they actually hadn't picked somebody in the draft since like 2016 or something. They usually trade their picks. So, a couple of the teams that I thought I could have ended up on when they pass, I really didn't know what was going to happen. And then Philly got on the clock and decided to pick me. So it all worked out.
Yeah, and that's got to feel rewarding, knowing that they trade away picks typically and they selected you. They
Yeah.
believe in your future. So, what does it feel like to get drafted? not only knowing for yourself how important it is for you, but just knowing that it could help the program at High Point, seeing that, hey, players can come here, play in the Big South, and then, get drafted to a big major soccer club. Like, how important do you think that is for the school?
Yeah, no, it's definitely important. I think it just goes to show that, you can go to a school like High Point and still achieve the things that you want to achieve. If you have aspirations of getting to the next level, it's important to go to a program that, puts you in a position to do that. And, High Point, gave me the platform to showcase my ability. And um, my coaches, they were in constant communication with clubs and coaches at the next level. So they did a whole heck of a lot to push my name and get me the exposure that I needed. But I mean, it's definitely an achievement, and I hope that my story just helps push the program on.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will. So my last question is, it just has to do with the World Cup. I mean, you're kind of in the middle of all this in terms of soccer growing. It's got to be cool to watch. The USA team is building something. They're going to have a great, more mature and veteran team in the next World Cup. Soccer's growing in the United States for youth, also in the MLS, packing stadiums, more teams, more viewership on TV. What's it like just being a part of this and knowing that, like, you're kind of a part of history of soccer growing in the United States?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Obviously this is a sport that I love. I've grown up playing, and I've seen the progression of it in the United States. So, to be a part of to be a small part of helping the game grow, it's awesome for me. But yeah, I mean, the MLS is growing, the popularity of soccer in the United States is growing. So to be a small part of that is really exciting for me.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely going to be very exciting in a few years when we host the World Cup. Holden, thank you so much for coming on the show. Best of luck in the next few days going to Philadelphia. Enjoy it, and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, no, thank you.
All right, have a good one.